So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this last press conference of today, the official pre-match media conference with England ahead of their quarter-final against France tomorrow evening at Al Bayt at 10 o'clock. Delighted to welcome coach Gareth Southgate to my left, and to his left, captain Harry Kane, and to his left, team media officer Andy Walker. Please note the languages this evening are English, Arabic and French. And please, as always, disable the mobile hotspots. Photographers will ask you, if you don't mind, after 5 minutes to leave the room so that we can continue with the press conference. Please announce who you are and your organisation, please. That would be very helpful. So we'll go straight to the floor for questions. At the front, please, second row. Thank you.
Hello, it's John Cross from the Daily Mirror. Hello, Harry. I was just going to ask you, if I may, just how much more prepared do you think this generation, this team is from the disappointments of, say, 4 years ago, and how much have you learned from, say, a year ago to go into what is a huge game tomorrow night, please?
Yeah, I think looking back in 2018, we didn't really know what to expect from the group. Of course, we went there with the belief that we could win, but yeah, it was almost a new experience for a lot of us. And obviously, we got to the semi-final there, and everyone was over the moon. But yeah, whether we had the full belief to go and win the tournament, I'm not quite sure. I think we backed that up in the Euros, getting to another final, which yeah, we lost by a couple of kicks of the ball. So yeah, I feel like the belief has been building and building over the 4 or 5 years now, and we entered this tournament hoping to and believing that we can win it. And we've got to a stage now where we expect it to be. And now it's about trying to push on, and we face a really tough game tomorrow, but I know everyone's ready, we've prepared, and we'll go into that game with yeah, maybe more belief in what we did back in 2018.
Thank you. Gentleman there, please.
Hello. One question in French, please. Je m'appelle Damien Dubras, je travaille pour Canal+, la télévision française. Une question pour Monsieur Southgate. Historiquement, l'Angleterre a toujours eu de bons joueurs, de bonnes générations, mais là, actuellement, entre ce mélange d'expérience symbolisé par Harry et d'autres joueurs, et cette nouvelle génération, les Bellingham, Rice, Saka, Foden et même d'autres, est-ce que vous pensez que l'Angleterre, aujourd'hui, est armée pour remporter de grandes compétitions dans le futur? Merci.
I think a lot of work has gone on in England within the English FA and with the clubs to raise the standard of young player development. Obviously, we've had a big focus on the national junior teams as well. So very similar. We've done a lot of research on German FA, on France and Clairefontaine and everything that's happened there. This group are a team. They're very close. They've got a tremendous spirit, and they've got a lot of shared experiences together now. And the older players make it a comfortable environment for the younger players to come into. They set very high standards, but they also allow the younger players to settle in socially and allow them to be at ease with the group. And I think that's why the young players come in and are able to express themselves. So it's a real collective, and that's, I think, the strength of what we've got.
Thank you. There, please, and then the front.
This is Kaveh Solokol from Sky Sports News. Just wanted to ask you if you'd had a chance to speak to Raheem Sterling. How is he? And is there a chance that he could play tomorrow, perhaps be on the bench?
Yeah, I've spoken briefly with Raheem at training, and then I would need to pick up with him again later because we've had other things going on. But great that he's back with us, first and foremost. He wanted to train today. Normally we wouldn't do that, having been on a long flight, but it was a lighter session, so no risk with doing that. He'll be involved tomorrow, but what that looks like, we've got to decide because I've not been able to see him on the training pitch. So really hard to tell what his level is. He's not been with us since, in terms of on the pitch, since Saturday. So we'll just have to assess that. But really pleased he's back, and of course he's an important player for us.
Thank you. Gentleman here, and then we'll go to the lady. Thank you.
Hi, Harry. It's Matt Dunn from the Daily Express. Last summer, people said, Italy had a really good run going to the final. We only lost on penalties. And now they're saying this is the defending champions, it's France. If we lose, it's no shame in that. Is that the kind of losing mentality that we've got to kind of shake off if ever we're going to step up and become one of the leading countries?
Yeah, I think we're not here just to reach a quarter-final, let's put it that way. We know, there's some very good teams in this tournament, and we also know that we're a very good team as well. But yeah, if we did lose tomorrow, we'd be as disappointed as anyone. And yeah, I know what you mean by the mentality, but I think between us, the players, the staff, everyone involved, we have a real belief and we have a real determination to be successful as an England team. We can only prove that on the pitch. We can only prove that by winning games like tomorrow. But also, tomorrow isn't the World Cup final. Tomorrow is another step to trying to win the World Cup. So we have to be fully focused on that and just trying to get through to the next round.
Thank you. I have 2 more questions with photographers, please. 2 more with photographers. Lady at the front, please. Thank you.
Good evening to you both. In the last couple of days, a lot of people are talking about a match within a match between Kyle Walker and Kylian Mbappe. I'm sorry, I'm Lisa Foudala from French television, TF1. Do you think that coming back from an injury, returning from an injury, Kyle Walker is the best man to stop Kylian Mbappe? And question for Harry, what do you love most about Kylian Mbappe? Thank you.
Well, I think we always wanted to give Kyle the opportunity to be fit for the tournament. He's been a very important player for us over the last 6 years. And I think we've managed that process well. The right reintroduction into the team in terms of minutes against Wales, and 90 minutes, which for any player is important in the last game. So Kyle is ready. We, of course, are talking about one of the opposition, but we play France, who are a fantastic team, and we're aware of all of their attacking players, and we're aware of the quality of the whole squad, and that's what has made them so strong to be able to cope with the loss of some very big players. But I think that's what Didier has created. He's created a team that is stronger than the individuals, and I would say maybe that wasn't always the case with France, in the same way it wasn't always the case with us. So that's great credit to him, and we know we've got to be at our very best to be able to win the game.
And yeah, no, Kylian's a fantastic player. I think he's proven that. Since the last World Cup, being a winner, and he's kicked on from there. So expecting a tough game. He's one of the players who can cause a threat. But as the manager said, they've got a great team, and that's what we're focused on.
Thank you. Gentlemen there, please. Thank you.
Joe from Sky News. Hi, Gareth. You've been in these positions before ahead of these big games. Can you give us an insight into what you tell your players, your team, in those final moments in the dressing room before they head out for kickoff?
Yeah, nothing at all. Harry does it. By that point, the messages are done, the work's done. It's up to the players. So we speak a lot during the week. We'll speak before we leave the hotel to go to the ground, and then I leave it to the players because, frankly, there were lots of times when I played when a manager spoke at that point and I thought, look, I'm ready. All you can do is mess it up for me now. So I've taken that on board, and I think it's an important moment that the players feel together. We're in the dressing room with them, and we have little messages, but I don't speak to them in that way immediately before the game.
Okay, thank you. We'll go to the gentleman over here, and this is the last one for photographers. I'll give you one more, last one.
In French. Une question pour Harry, Nicolas Pelletier pour la radio RMC. Harry, comment vous pouvez décrire votre relation avec Hugo Lloris? Est-ce qu'on peut parler d'un couple? Ça fait 9 ans que vous vous connaissez à Tottenham. Et est-ce que vous avez échangé avec lui juste avant cette rencontre?
No, I haven't spoken to Hugo before this match. Yeah, me and Hugo have a great relationship. You know, we've been playing with each other a long, long time now. Yeah, we spend some time away from football as well with our wives and families. So yeah, he's a really good guy and you know, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. So yeah, for a game like this, you know, we're not friends for that day for sure, and we go to have a good battle against each other, and it'll be yeah, I'd say two great teams going at it. But yeah, look, I've known Hugo a long time, and I can't speak highly enough of him. So yeah, I'd enjoy playing against him tomorrow if we win. But I know he'll be doing everything to make France win. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Thank you. Just make a quick pause for photographers to just leave, please, and then we'll go to the gentleman right at the front. Thank you for waiting. Just wait for the photographers to leave. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Zafar Ali Khan from India. I was doing commentary at Calcutta during this FIFA Under-17 World Cup, where we saw talented players like Foden, Brewster. We are very much delighted to see their game. And now Bellingham, he's in the footsteps, you can say, of Sheringham, Terry Sheringham. What would you say about Bellingham? And tomorrow's match, is it between Harry Kane versus Mbappe?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of very good young players coming through our system, and Jude is obviously establishing himself in this tournament, has had a remarkable tournament for such a young player. So, yeah, that 17s group was an exceptional year group, really, 2000s. So many of them playing in the Premier League already. Quite a few of them have had their debuts with us. Only Phil and Conor Gallagher with us this time, but I'm sure a lot more will be. And yeah, tomorrow there are two world-class forwards on the show. Well, there's more than that, really. But obviously everybody will focus on Kylian Mbappe and Harry because of the number of goals. But of course, Olivier Giroud is the French record holder, and Antoine Griezmann is a player who I have a huge amount of respect for as well. So we think we've got some good attacking players in our team, and it's a great game for supporters to watch.
Thank you.
Carrie Brown, beIN Sports, to Gareth Southgate and Harry Kane. In the World Cup in Russia, you won a penalty shootout to get into the quarterfinals. Then in the Euros, as France went out in the last 16, you went on to book a place in the final for this young group of players. It's been new marks on new marks. What have you learnt from those, and how will that help you as you go on to face reigning world champions? And Harry, if I can ask you particularly about Kyle Walker and his battle with Mbappe, because I know he's had a very big influence on you and your mentality from an early age. How will his mentality cope with Mbappe?
Yeah, no, you know, me and Carl have known each other a long time, and yeah, look, Carl's a fantastic defender. You know, he's been probably the most consistent right back there's been for the last 10 years or so. Yeah, improved as he's gone along his career, and is playing at the highest level I think he's ever played at. So yeah, I know there's a lot of talk about Carl and Kylian, but yeah, look, Carl will be focused on doing his job for the team as he always does, and yeah, whether that's with the ball, without the ball, he'll be ready, and yeah, I'm always happy to play with him. I think he's yeah, one of the best defenders there is.
In terms of our experiences, I think those big matches for the team, they're important reference points, really. You know, they've had to come through many different ways of winning games, some defeats that have hurt, but that we've learned a lot from. And yeah, I think they prepare you for nights like tomorrow where you've got to produce the very best version of yourselves. And the mentality is key, really. You know, the belief and the mentality that we deserve to be there, and we're ready to fight France for that place in the semi-final.
Thank you. Gentleman at the front, please.
Vasil Kolev, Tema Sport. One question to Harry. Two questions about Hugo Lloris. It's a remarkable occasion tomorrow that both captains, you and Hugo, are teammates at Spurs. What are his best qualities as a captain? What do you think? And also, do you know from so many training sessions together the best way to score against him?
No, Hugo's a fantastic leader, you know. Leads by example, is quite calm in pressure situations, and also knows when, you know, his voice needs to be heard and when he needs to be strong with his words and in the change room. And yeah, I've learned a lot from him through my career and his leadership skills to help me being captain of England. So yeah, and look, we've trained a lot together, we've played a lot together. I'm someone who always backs myself in any situation against any goalkeeper, but you know, I've seen Hugo pull off some fantastic saves over the years, and yeah, hopefully tomorrow it'll be I'll be able to have some chances that, you know, I'll be able to put away, but also I know I'll have to be at the top of my game to do that, because I'm facing one of the best goalkeepers there is. So I try not to focus too much on, you know, what's going to happen. I just try and prepare as well as I can, which we have done as a team, and then go into the game free and, you know, let my instincts take over.
Thank you. We have a cluster of three here, please. We've been waiting patiently, so three here.
Mike McGrath from the Daily Telegraph. Question for Harry. When you address the players tomorrow in the dressing room, what are the key messages you want to get across?
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't want to tell my secrets, but no, like the manager said, you know, the preparation's been done. Everyone will be talking in the change room. Everyone will be talking about the same messages we've been preparing for now for the last 6 days. So yeah, it'll just be a small briefing in a huddle. I'm not completely sure what I'll say yet. You know, I'll probably think about that over the next 24 hours. But yeah, it's just, again, just to go over what we've been preparing for. And at that stage, the players are ready. They're just, you know, itching to get out there and play. There's been, you know, you rarely get 6 days to wait for a quarter-final. So yeah, we're more than ready just to get out there and get going.
Thank you. Gentleman behind.
Hi Gareth, it's Jack Pittbrook from The Athletic. I don't know if you've seen this, but a migrant worker died in an accident at a FIFA training resort recently during the World Cup. Given that the FA has spoken about supporting migrant worker compensation funds, does this tragic incident reinforce the importance of those?
Well, firstly, we're very sad to hear what has happened, and for anybody to lose their life in any work-related situation or in any situation at all. So I haven't had a chance to speak with people at the FA about that. I'm sure they will deal with that in due course.
Thank you. Lady at the front, please.
Suhan Wang from Tencent. Question for Gareth. The Japan manager reviewed after the penalty shootout that he let players decide who the penalty takers would be. So what's the plan for England like? Are you going to take full charge, or do players also have a say?
Well, we're talking about penalties again, but we have a plan. But of course, when you get to the end of a game, maybe some players don't feel as confident or feel more confident or have an injury. So all of those things have happened in the previous shootouts that we've had. But you know, we are as well prepared as we can be.
Thank you. The lady there, you were wanting a question? Behind the next row. Yes, thank you.
Lakin Littman with Fox Sports. Gareth, this is for you. You, of course, talk about France as a team being stronger than one individual, but I am curious, how do you prepare For a player like Mbappe, how do you try to limit or stop him?
I think the same as every position on the field. You know, you have 10 1-against-1 battles on the field, but then everybody else around those individual battles has to support their teammate, and you've got to work collectively to be able to stop any player like that. Of course, there's a responsibility on his direct opponent, and we're ready for that. We're ready for the detail of that. But then you have to expect the same with our forwards. If our forwards get past one of their defenders, there's got to be cover, and it would be the same in our team. So you've got to work the areas of the pitch zonally to make sure that there's good coverage and support for every player on the pitch. Simple as that.
Thank you. Right at the front, please.
Hi there, James Ollie from ESPN. Good luck to you both tomorrow. Question to each of you, if I can. Gareth, there's a suggestion that Ben White and Steve Holland had a disagreement in the team meeting which led to his departure. Can you confirm whether that happened, and could you also clarify whether Ben was sent home or whether he asked to leave? And to Harry, I'm guessing you've probably taken more penalties against Hugo Lloris than probably anybody else. I just wondered how that affected the dynamic if you have to take one tomorrow.
Yeah, surprisingly, I haven't practiced too much against Hugo. Normally, when I practice, it would be against the second or the third choice goalkeeper. The starting goalkeeper normally doesn't join in the practice day before the game, which is when I practice majority of them. So, of course, we've taken them before, but I wouldn't say loads and loads have been taken against him. So, against any goalkeeper, I have similar situations when I'm in the Premier League and I face England goalkeepers. I just stick to my process and my routine, go through the same training the day before the game. And then hopefully try and deliver if called upon in the match.
Thank you. In the middle, please, and then right at the back.
Sorry, James.
Hello, Gareth.
Sorry, there was another.
The as far as I'm aware, the article that was written used words like alleged, and so whoever wrote it obviously didn't feel strongly enough that it was correct. Ben left for personal reasons. We made that very clear, and I think, especially in this day and age, it's very important that that a situation like that is respected.
Okay, let's go. My name is Fernando Valeca de Barros. I'm a freelancer working for Estado de São Paulo, Brazil. I have a question for each one of you. For Gareth, your team is not in a good shape in Nations League, and in World Cup it's worked wonderfully. What changed between the two competitions? For Harry, tough games normally are decided by few, but sometimes just a player make a wonderful play and go. What you expect from the match from tomorrow? It will be a tough, a detailed match, and what would be this detail? Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think it's hard to know exactly, how the game's going to go tomorrow. You can only prepare for as much as you can, and then the game will take its own direction. But I think any big game, big match that I've been involved in, quarterfinals, knockout games, it comes down to the smallest of details. And normally the team that gets more of them right is the team that wins. So it can be anything. It can be a set piece. It can be a goal from 40 yards. It can be a mistake. As we know in football, there's a lot that can happen. So we just need to be prepared to get our details right. If the 11 plus whoever comes off the bench do their job to the best of their ability, then we feel like we have a good chance.
For us, the Nations League was a very difficult competition. We were looking at a lot of new players, some of whom have been really important for us in this tournament. So I know France had a similar situation, really. I think for everybody, we were all in the middle of a World Cup year, and how do you find the balance of trying to compete in that competition, but also trying to prepare for a World Cup, which ultimately, I suppose, for all international managers, World Cups and European Championships in Europe were what you were always judged on in the past, and now you've got this additional layer of competitive matches, which doesn't always fall easily. The first one was a great experience for us because we got to the finals. The second one, every game was behind closed doors. We were in lockdown. That was pretty miserable for us all. And the last one was complicated by the World Cup year and the preparation. So very different experiences, but I have enjoyed those games because we've learned a lot from them, and without a doubt we've improved because of all of those Nations League tournaments.
Thank you. The gentleman right at the back, please. Been waiting. With his hand up. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Edson Viana from Global TV Brazil. One for Harry, please, and one for Mr. Southgate. For Harry, even for a player that experienced like you, how is the night before a match with that side? Is it possible to sleep the same way? How is your ritual before a match that side? And for Mr. Southgate, I'd like to ask you to please talk a little bit about Rashford, which is a player very important in the field, but he also has some social projects, someone that try to make good for the society in England. How is to have someone like that in your team? Thank you both.
Yeah, I think the night before a game, you know, you've done all your preparation. You try not to think about the game, but it's hard not to. You know, the anticipation of what's it going to be like and what's going to happen. And yeah, I guess as I've become more experienced, I sleep pretty well anyway, so I don't have a problem with sleep. But yeah, I just try and, you know, switch off as much as I can. I've done the preparation, like I've said. I've done everything I can to be ready for the game, and that's the most important thing. And once you get out there on the pitch, you know, it kind of takes over itself. Your instincts takes over. The game takes a direction that you follow and try and compete in. So yeah, overall, just trying to switch off and yeah, just be as ready as possible.
And Marcus is in really good form. Hadn't been with us for 18 months, so that had been a difficult period for him in terms of his form. But I really like how he has been during this camp. Very happy within himself, smiling a lot, enjoying his football, training really well every day. Has been dangerous in every game that he's either started or come into the pitch. So football-wise, he's in a really good place. The social projects, I mean, a lot of our players have also been involved in some important causes and have their own foundations or have done a lot of good work within our country. So I'm very proud of everything that they've done in that respect. He in particular made a massive difference for young children and families without the ability to provide lunches and school meals for their children. So that was a cause that was very close to his heart, and he did incredibly well to create change at a difficult time in our country.
Thank you very much. I can't see any more hands. This is your last chance. We have a couple of minutes. Oh, one more here. Thank you.
Hi, Gareth. Dan King from The Sun. Do you owe Didier Deschamps one from the 2000 FA Cup final? And what are the feelings? What are the feelings like? How do the feelings differ as a manager of your national team, as you've both been, and as a player on the eve of a match like this?
Well, I know revenge is a dish best served cold, but that would be pretty freezing, wouldn't it? No, we were underdogs that day. I mean, Chelsea had phenomenal experience in their team of big matches. Marcel Desailly, George Weah, Franco Zola, Didier. So, bit of a mismatch, really. In terms of preparation for the games, you know, I'm really excited about the game. I'm excited about the challenge. It's been a brilliant game to prepare for. You want those games of tactical detail and that stretch your team. And the work is done now, really. You know, we're going to go back and watch the other quarterfinals and enjoy that. A little bit of work tomorrow in the morning on some final details. But we're ready for the game, and I think the players are ready, and we're really looking forward to it.
Great, thank you. That's all the hands answered, I think. Thank you very much to Team England, and thank you for coming. Good evening.